What's happening, everybody? This week I've been working on this little 73 C20 here. It's a Camper Special. It's the same owner of the 64.5 C10 I've been building, but this one's a factory big block 454 turbo 400 truck. They bought it, and I believe the drop-in camper that was in this truck in the 70s. So you can see it's got all the little hooks and stuff where the drop-in camper goes, and they're actually redoing the camper to be put back on the truck, which is pretty cool. But they went ahead, pulled the engine. It was tired, so they had it rebuilt, had to put a set of Merlin heads, small cam, but nothing really radical. So they wanted to go ahead and do the Holley Sniper EFI, and that's what they brought it in for me, to plumb the fuel system and do all the wiring. While it was in, we wanted to go ahead, put a new American Autowire headlight and engine harness. So basically I'm having to install that and then take the Holley harness and mold it into the factory harness, which, like I said, that's no big deal on these. Pretty simple setup. But went ahead this week, I dropped the fuel tank, put the inline Holley pump, did a feed and return line for it, and everything's going pretty good. Like I said, this will probably be a two-part deal. I'll show you basically what I've done so far on the truck, and then, you know, the next video I might show it running and show how it self-learns, and show some different aspects of the Holley EFI. Thanks.
So you can see this is just a really cool old truck. So it still wears the original paint. You can see it's got some bumps and bruises just from, you know, wear and tear over the years. But 73 C20 Camper Special, factory hubcap, steel wheels. I believe they went up to a 235/85/16 tire, so a little bit bigger than stock, but still got the big West Coast mirrors and all the Camper Special badges. You know, just a super clean, solid old bed. It's never, you know, had a bed liner or anything. And you see I got all the Holley Sniper EFI stuff. But this is basically the ECU and the monitor for the Sniper EFI. So basically when I get ready, I'll go in and power everything up, put a few initial parameters in for a bass tune, and then it's got one oxygen sensor that I'll put in the exhaust, and let's see, it's got a temp sensor right here. So basically once the temp sensor reads 160 degrees, it'll go into the learn mode, and so that's when it'll actually take the bass tune and start adjusting it, and it'll start either adding fuel or putting fuel in it depending on how it's running. When I initially set it up, I'll put, you know, however many degrees timing that, you know, I set it at, and like I said, once it starts self-learning, it just does its thing. And it's got a lot of other little features and stuff that you can do. You can actually, it comes with a bung that you can actually clamp on the exhaust. I'll probably just weld one in. I usually do that instead of having to deal with that and the gasket and everything. But he's running a set of Hedman headers. They are 3-inch ball and socket collectors. So I'll weld these on the exhaust. You can see a couple leftover fittings from the fuel system kit that goes with it. Here's some sirens from the fire department. Fire trucks are leaving. But they did a killer job up under the hood, just detailing everything. They did a, you know, aluminum radiator, but it still's got a factory fan shroud and clutch fan. You know, detailed all the front accessories, and did orange valve covers with GM stickers and everything. It does have a Edelbrock RPM air gap with the Holley Sniper throttle body. It's got an MSD HEI distributor. You can see the ceramic coated Hedman headers. They look really good in there. You went ahead and installed a new set of inner fenders, you know, put a new dryer. I installed the compressor brackets on a new compressor for them. I still got to hook the AC line up, but you can see it's a 2-battery truck. So the passenger side basically will run the starter and power the, you know, truck itself, and then the driver's side battery, it'll actually be tied into the camper, I believe, and that's what the little solenoid over there on the inner fender's for. It has to convert. It's got some type of setup where all the camper stuff runs off 110 volts. But you can see I've got one of the first little harnesses just initially plugged in for the Holley, and I'll, like I said, mold it into the engine harness. And you see the blue wire, that's actually the fuel pump wire, and the good thing is with these, the way the relay setup is, you can actually just run the blue wire straight to the Holley fuel pump, and you don't have to run a separate relay. If you run, just say you run an in-tank pump, like an Aeromotive setup or something, I usually recommend doing a relay on those. Usually some of those pumps will pull a little bit more amps, so. But basically, it'll have one run start wire. I have the plug for the O2 sensor, and just a couple other odd end stuff, but the Holley EFI stuff's pretty simple to install, not too hard. I had to put a fuel pump block off plate on it and pull the fuel pump rod out since we got an electric pump now. Some of you might be wondering why this truck's getting a new headlight and engine harness, but the dash harness and really all the other wiring in the truck are super nice, you know, for a 73 model. But you can see this is a little small fusible link that's got 3 butt connectors after that for really no reason at all. The driver's side over here is really a mess just from all the add-on stuff with the camper. You can see they've got just power wires run everywhere, and this is actually some type of little clip that's taped up and holding some wires together. And then we got some, you know, standard house ends that's got wires twisted together for different stuff, and all the add-on stuff with the camper just really got this engine harness all jacked up. So they ordered a new American Autowire headlight and engine harness. This is the engine harness, so you can see it's got the factory style bulkhead, so that goes at the firewall to the fuse box, and it's got the loom that goes across, and that will actually catch the junction block right there at the AC box, and then it just pretty much splits off, and that gets your alternator harness, distributor, starter, and then the water temp, and then it actually even over there has the fuel sending unit wire. And then the headlight harness I haven't got out of the box yet, but basically all that will tidy all this mess up and make this truck a whole lot cleaner up under the hood. So once I get that installed, I can finish my wiring on the Holley, and all this should go together pretty quick. I gotta do you see I've got a couple more coolant fittings and hoses and stuff. I'm gonna put his heater hoses on, and then we're gonna go ahead and get clamps for all this stuff and start wrapping this up next week. And like I said, I will come back and do a second video of once I get the motor broke in. I might do some clips while I'm setting the ECU up, and then once I get the engine broke in or something, I'll do some sound clips and let y'all see what it sounds like. It's got a 2.5-inch aluminized exhaust, pair of flow masters, the tailpipes, they come out behind the rear tires, so should make this truck a whole lot more drivable and enjoyable on the road, make it just a good cruiser, and should have plenty of torque and power to, you know, pull that big old camper around. And if he ever sets it off, you should be able to pull his little car trailer and stuff with it. But
as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Push the notification bell for any updates, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see in part 2 of the video. Thanks.